It's Italia Demo. It's episode 4 with me, MrSealyp. 6:54 in the morning here in Italy. Things, yeah, it's been a bit odd. I've had a few issues. I've got a KZK6 on the back cultivator. We're going to need that because I've got some cultivating to do. Thank you to Hank, who sent me the picture of the sort of unloading script area. Apparently straw is supposed to be here. I still cannot get it to work, so then it dawned on me maybe I need to use a straw blower or loose straw rather than straw bales. Maybe I won't accept straw bales, which is weird because it accepted the hay, no problem at all. So I've grabbed myself at least the Primo. So I don't know if this is going to work. The trigger's supposed to be there, I just can't get it to work. Now I've got a plethora of jobs to be getting on with today. Thank you for the contracts. I've got more contracts than I know what to do with at the moment, which is fantastic. I'm just sort of categorising them all, going through them all. I'm sort of picking off ones that I can do fairly quickly and fairly easily, because obviously some of the more difficult ones or the ones that require more product are going to be a more long-term project because I've only got fairly small fields at the moment. I have moved all the bales of fields 12 and 13. That was done overnight. Now, what happened to the rest of yesterday, you may ask? Well, that's a jolly good question. I'll do that and that. That's a jolly good question. And here's the thing. I was exercising the horses, which are all now in there. And I must have, on my side panel, I'm not quite sure how I did it. I must have sped up time. I don't know. I honestly don't know how I did it. I was so focused on exercising the horses, but I was doing 2 or 3 other things at the same time. I was going through some comments. I was, doing, multitasking, so to speak. So I was on the horses and I was kind of going round and round in a circuit, and I was doing a few bits and bobs. And all of a sudden I thought, it seems to be getting dark. And when I looked up top right hand corner, it was like 7 o'clock at night. So I skipped through the entire day. Like I say, don't know how I did it. Absolute nightmare. But it is what it is. I can't do a lot about it. Now, I honestly don't know if this is going to work. I'm hoping it's just this. Yes. Oh, that's all it was. It had to be done through a blower or loose. It wasn't accepted the bales. That's all it was. We are now getting our straw in. Wowzers. Okay. I'm going to keep... I say keep hold of that. It's going to cost me a lot of money because I've leased it. Well, at least I know now. Maybe I can get myself a cheap one. Let's just push that to the side. Right, the horses are going to need some exercise today. There's no two ways about that. And there are also some contracts I can get done today because a couple of them are asking for things that because I've been doing in-game contracts as well as subscriber contracts, I've built up a little bit of a head of wheat and a bit of barley and stuff like that. The wheat is going to be the one I'm going to be able to do today. I think that's going to go off by train as well. I need to cultivate in my cover crop on our first field because I'm going to be putting soybean in that for a contract. That I will talk about that contract further down the line because obviously all I'm doing at the moment is preparing it. They want 2 harvests. It doesn't specify an amount, so this field will be 2 harvests, and I'm going to do oilseed, radish, and then this is what I'm hoping as well. At the moment, if we go to our mappage, we go across to our soil composition. We ploughed it, we limed it. Unfortunately, I cut a new bit, didn't I? I ploughed out an extra bit, so that probably could have done with liming. But that's got no fertilising. Now, this cultivator fertilises at the same time. Now, I don't think this is going to work. If it does, I'll be over the moon. I also need to cultivate field 12 and 13, which I'm going to move over and do in a little while. So this is, like I say, 6 metres wide. I can turn it on. Now, cultivating in the cover crop should get me 1 fertiliser state, but the fact this fertilises as well, I don't know if I'm going to get both states at the same time or whether it will just do one and I have to come back over and cultivate again. So what I'm going to do is go along and do a strip and we'll see how this pans out. The fact it runs at 12 miles an hour is brilliant. So our cover crop is going in. All organic. I haven't done anything to it. There's no chemicals. Now it does say in the contract for soybean they want to avoid herbicide. So if I do get weeds, I've got to try and get rid of them mechanically if I can. Now what I need to do is look and see. That is dark, isn't it? So it's doing both. So not only is it cultivating in the cover crop, it's applying. Because what the cultivator is in essence doing, I know people have kind of argued about this being it's an unfair thing. There are a few cultivators, rollers, and various different things that will allow a fertilizing state when you put them down. The premise behind it being that some of the cultivators and some of the bits of machinery are allowing for a better seed bed, which would give you a better yield anyway. Some of them aerate the crops a little, aerate the ground a little bit more. Some of there's some argument towards it. But I thought fairly cheap. That cost me 4,600. It's 6 meters wide, and that's going to help with the organic situation. Now I have also been offered by a few different people as part of contracts manure. I spoke to Feldcorp, I spoke to Feldin. Feldin has said they've got a surplus of digestate which they can absolutely, we can buy off of them, we can work out a deal or trade or whatever. And loads of people are offering me trades, so there won't always be money changing hands. Now that's fine. However, as it stands at the moment, I'm hemorrhaging cash. I'm buying things, albeit as cheaply as possible, but I'm not actually getting anywhere with regard to finances. The money is going to come at a later date when I've got more stuff done, more crops done. I'm in the early stages of prepping, and unfortunately that's a big part of it. When you first get going, unless you can find yourself a real nice revenue source, which on Attingham I've managed to do, which is absolutely fantastic. Is that part of that, or is that the size? I'm struggling to see where the weeds and the all-seed radish separate. Then you find yourself in these early stages, like any farm does. You are paying for seed, you're paying for fertilizer, you're paying for time, you're paying for fuel, you're paying, until that crop's harvested and you get that money back, it's all expenditure. It's all just money going out. There's nothing coming back in. The chickens are producing eggs. I do have a contract for 20 boxes of eggs, which again, when we get close to that, we'll talk a little bit more about that. We have a bakery war going on, which is brilliant. An old friend of the channel, another old friend. I've got lots of old friends of the channel. If you've watched any of the subscriber contracts before, Gypson's Bakery is around and has asked for some wheat for flour, but also Jeremy is setting up an artisan bakery, and he put a smiley face because he knows how I feel about the word artisan. I've ranted about that before, so I won't rant about it again. I'm sure Wombleway will be laughing now as well. So he's setting up an artisan bakery and also wants wheat. And I do have another contract for wheat as well. Who's the other person? Anyway, that will come to me. So yeah, we've got a bit of a kind of bakery war going on, all requiring wheat. Now, one of them I can provide already, and I think that's for Jeremy, for the artisan bakery, because he's asked for 30,000 litres. I'll get onto that contract when we get onto transporting it. Gypson's want 100,000 litres, so that's going to take a little bit longer. I have got a contract where I'm going to, on field 12 and 13, put oats in the ground, because Hank Whipple has asked for some oats, which I can do fairly straightforward. That's not an organic one or anything like that. So I've got a load going on. But what I also can do, there's loads, it's brilliant, I love it. I love the fact that so many people are getting involved, and I've got some great contracts coming, some real stuff that's not necessarily left field, but I've got not far from me there's an olive grove that one family owns, and they've asked me, can I just look after the olive grove? So I need to provide it with manure and water. I've got another, the lemon tree they're called, and they want lemon trees. They want me to plant lemon trees, and they're going to move from just the fruit into looking at all sorts of hand sanitizers and like limoncello type drinks and all sorts of things. So lemon trees. I've got one for the health and well-being group that are looking for a greenhouse, so people can go and there's some great contracts. So thank you to everybody who's been submitting them. I will try my best to do as many as I can, and as I've said before, unfortunately I won't necessarily be able to do everybody's, but I will really do my best to do as many as I can. And this is where kind of setting it all up and getting all of those, well, it's like kind of dominoes in a row, or jigsaw puzzle pieces I always refer to. Lining everything up so it all kind of works out. It's like my wife always says about cooking a Sunday roast. It's all well and good getting it all and having it all and having the space to cook it, but getting it all to be ready at the same time and right and all warm, and you know it's getting all those timings just right for it all to come out just perfectly. So that's what we're aiming for. I'm going to carry on cultivating this in, and the great thing about this is now cover crop's done, and with nothing chemical added in whatsoever, we've got our fertilising state. This will be soybeaned. What was the other one? Oh yeah, so yeah, one I can do as well straight away is from BD Agricultural Supply, who sent us the trailer. I know people aren't happy about the trailer, but they sent us the trailer, and I got a message back saying, "Dear MrSealyp, thank you for including us in your video. We have had an increase in sales and rentals of 37%, and we are in a position to offer you a deal in conjunction with New Holland. You have been offered the prestigious offer from New Holland to place a New Holland sign somewhere on your property. The location will be your choice. For this, we can give you a 25% off all future purchases and rentals while the sign is on your property." So it's kind of pushing me down the route of, if I want to do it, you know, get some New Holland gear, 25% off is not to be sniffed at. So all I've got to do is put a sign on the property. Now I could just hide it somewhere out of the way. It says anywhere, it's my choice. So I could just get a New Holland sign, just stick it out of the way. But I suppose putting it out near the road, it may be a bit crass and it may be a bit of a shill. But that's what you got to do. Sincerely, BD Agricultural Supplies and Jockey Inc. International. So that I can do straight away. I can get that sign up, we'll get that installed, and I will then move from here. I'm so glad we managed to get the straw sorted out for the horses. They're going to need to be exercised today. I've got some contracts for potatoes, so I think what I'm going to do is I've got to look at more fields, because I'm going to need a fairly flat area for greenhouses. I think the greenhouse project and the lemon tree one, I want a fairly flat one. I can't remember what field it was. Was it field 18? No. 18 and 19 are owned by somebody, although it doesn't show that they are at the moment. What was their contract? I'll get onto that. I'm trying to think where the farm was, where they've got olive trees. But again, we'll get onto that later on. I'm so glad that is working. That has made my day. So yeah, 12 and 13 we'll head out. Plus, the BGA. Did I show it in the last video? I'm losing my mind because I've done a few on Attingham. I'm back on here. I'm trying to kind of balance between everything and get everything done. Because people have been sending in contracts, so many contracts, trying to kind of screenshot everything, collate everything, get it all into folders, and it's becoming, like I said, right from the word go, doing subscriber contracts, it's quite admin heavy, you know, there's a lot that needs to be done. So I will get there, I will get there. I said I got all the bales, didn't I? The bales are all over there from 12, so 12 and 13. I think we've got 29 in total now of straw bales, but I need to do hay bales, I need to do silage work. Oh yeah, that was the other one. Sinister. It's a bit sinister. Before I forget, while I'm doing this, we'll talk about it. I can't remember which one it was. Let me just go to this one here. Sorry, I'm just looking at my screen to my right. So I don't think it was intended to be sinister, and please take this in a light-hearted way, as I am. This is from Farmer Mark, and it says, "Dear MrSealyp, recently I have acquired your old farm, Spectacle Island. But there is one thing bothering me. There is a sheep you have left here which goes by the name of Jeremy. Now normally I don't have nightmares, but recently I've been hearing sheep voices." That's right, voices. Now I don't speak Italian, but all I hear is "portami a casa," which translated means "take me home." I'm not asking for payment for Jeremy. All I require is TMR supplies for 10 cows you left roaming freely in field 1. All I require is 4 straw bales, 4 hay bales and 4 silage bales. When all that is supplied, I will happily get him transported to Italy, back to where he belongs. Is that a ransom? Is Farmer Mark holding Jeremy to ransom? When I've supplied all that, they'll happily transport him. Why can't he be happily transported now? That feels like a ransom demand to me. Again, please, it's just light-hearted. It's just meant as a bit of fun. But yeah, so that's a contract we need to. That's under my multi. I've got a category for multi, which is different crops and multiple steps, and complicated, which some of them are. Anyway, I've done it again. I've waffled a lot, but that's part of my charm, isn't it, everybody? I hope you think it is. This is where half the viewers just turn off. Shut up, mate, you're driving us mad. Oh, I'm so happy with this. This is brilliant. I'm so glad it worked. Okay, I've got a local helping me do the cultivating. So what I'm going to do now is grab 30,000 litres of wheat out of storage. We're going to take that to the drop-off point for the train, which will go to the ISO cell point, I think. Only 30,000 litres. We've got 67,000 here, and we've got more because there's another silo around by the actual train station. I haven't got enough to fulfill. I have got another one here. So I said the bakery one. The other one was Farmer Envoy Extreme, and there's a whole contract that goes with that, a whole backstory, but they want 65,000 litres. I haven't got enough to do 65 and 30. I certainly haven't got enough to do the 100,000, so I'm going to have to do some more wheat at some point. But the beauty of doing wheat, oats or barley means I can get straw swaths, which is wonderful. Just over 30,000 doesn't matter, as long as we're there or thereabouts. We'll get that taken and we'll get that sorted. $230 litres extra. You're welcome, Jeremy. The sign's up. Oh no. I mean, it's out by the road, look. New Holland. Our sign's up. I'm assuming that's the sign they wanted. It is a New Holland sign. I don't know if there was a particular brand or like company, but that's the advertising hoarding we have got. What we're going to do now, avoiding any traffic, avoiding getting stuck. I've learnt from Attingham Park. Please turn out there. Oh, I keep forgetting the masses articulated. That really helps. Let's go along, dump this off. This is a side tip, isn't it? Should still work, shouldn't it? Just trying to think what the sell, well, not sell point, but the transfer point looks like. Can't remember off the top of my head. Anyway, so yeah, this will be winging its way to you. Did I say Tony? No, did say Jeremy, didn't I? Yeah, it's Jeremy. Tony wants 100,000. Just coming up on the left, and then we'll grab the train and we'll take that round and sell that. As long as it gets shipped, I don't think it matters too much. We might be alright. Depends what tip side I'm on. One is a sell point, one is for transfer. I want the transfer to train, which is the further one. We'll soon see if I've made a mess of this, because the money will start going up. Which should make a little bit on this. It's not mega money, but it's a bit of money back in the bank, which we really need. So in trouble with the articulated tractors is it gets a little bit jerky with the camera work now. Nothing has come up, so I'm going to do that. There we go. Tip that in. Money's not going up. That's good. We're completing contracts, people. We're completing contracts. All is good in the world. So BD Agricultural Supplies got this sign up. That's going off to Jeremy. Just need to wait for the train to come by now. The train hath arrived. 30,230 litres going in. Our field is finished being cultivated. That's going to need seeding. So that, like I say, that's going to be soybean. I have also, which I've just remembered and I was going to mention, I've taken on an in-game contract for herbicides. Now, I've done a lot of in-game contracts. If you watch any of my Let's Plays, you know I'm a bit of a contract fiend. On this one, there are contracts for weeding, contracts for... I mean, to be fair, I don't always have weeds on, so it might be... I'm not saying that other maps don't have them. I'm just saying I haven't done them before. And spreading herbicide and all sorts. So I'm going to be doing some herbiciding. There we go. It's done and ready. I can't remember what the field is. I've got to do that on there. We have got our herbicide sprayer, and we have got one IBC. So providing that IBC is enough to finish the field, otherwise it's going to get pricey. So we have a couple of options. Well, we have a few options, loads of options, of course, for buying our seed, our fertilizer, lime, etc., etc. We're going to come across them again. I can't remember if I mentioned it or not, or whether I just looked at it. Thank you to all the people that did comment. I seem to recall doing it in the last episode, but I might have just dreamt that, because that often happens. But as we come across here, these train carriages on the left-hand side go down the side to some pipes. Those pipes are a buy point for seed, fertilizer and lime, as far as I'm aware. But I don't know what the price is going to be like. We do also have the option of a CNS modding Anne-Marie silo, which is out near our fields 12 and 13, actually, just by the side of 14. That was installed not long before our arrival, apparently. And then obviously we've got the option of we can buy pallets, we can get them from the store. You know, there are various different ways of doing it. I might, for the first go round, get it from the biogas plant location just to see what the price is. I don't think anything's going to be as cheap as a CNS Anne-Marie modding silo, but you know, I mean, that's the more realistic, I guess, when you think about it. The CNS modding Anne-Marie, I use it a lot, and I really love it because it's so cheap. It means doing jobs like liming and a lot of fertilising and contracts keeps the price way down, keeps your costs way down, which is great. Is that realistic to the real world prices? I wouldn't have thought so. I mean, you know, as I was saying earlier, everything's an outlay at the start, and a significant outlay for any farmer is fertilising. You know, fertiliser, herbicides, fungicides, pesticides, all those things. And again, another reason why, when people were sort of adamant that farmers are just spraying the stuff willy-nilly all over the place, it's not cheap. It's not cheap stuff to, no one wants to be using more of it than they need to, because it's expensive. Right, so Jeremy, that's coming your way. Excellent. Another contract ticked off the list. With that done then, what I'm going to do now is switch the massey over back to the seeder. I'm going to top that up because we've got a little bit of seed left, and I'm going to start putting the soybean in the ground on our field. I'm then going to, when we get a worker going on that, I'm going to head over to field 12 and 13 with our cultivator, cultivate that because we're going to be putting oats in that, and then I think we'll hopefully finish off by herbiciding. Now our hardy sprayer, we've actually been offered a trade on that. I think it was that for silage bales, if I recall correctly. Just trying to remember all the contracts, all the people, all the amounts, all of the, you know, various different things that have been offered. I'm sure it was. No, got stuck on my own log pile. That's not good. I did grab a CSZ bucket to use with our Voivo, because I needed to clean out the chickens because the feed area was looking a bit ropey. Right, where's the seeder? I didn't even think to check our egg boxes actually this morning. I cleaned out the feed area but didn't even think. And also the harvester. I bought the harvester back after all the contracts we did. And that's taken quite a battering. 3. We need 20. It's going to take a while. It's going to take a while. So, actually while we're at it, let's get our our ethereal sprayer out, our moisture sprayer. I just suppose that's a lot harder in a hot, dry climate where there's not a lot of moisture in the air. I don't know how this one works. Celia G will be very happy with me right now. She's grinning across the other side of the table. She just got a university student card just arrived. She was so happy, apart from the picture on it. Actually, that's a good point. I would just ask her a question. Hang on. When do you start? 23rd of September. She's off to uni. Not to stay. She's commuting because she's going to be in London and we're just on the outskirts of London. So, yeah, just to commute in. She doesn't know how many days she's going to be going in for. She doesn't know when her lectures and stuff are going to be, but it's all good. And yes, before everyone asks, I have still been pestering her about doing a channel. I'm still doing it as regular as I possibly can. She's a determined, headstrong young woman. If any of you are married out there, you'll know how difficult it is. What am I doing? I need to swap that over from oilseed radish, grass, wheat, barley, oats, canola, soybean. Open that up. Top that up. What I'm really liking as well is, I think, as well as the fact I'm doing subscriber contracts, but how it's always nice when I'm doing maps, when you're doing really different styles of gameplay. And the style of gameplay on here is vastly different to Attingham Park. Now, like I say, I don't know quite. Normally, soybeans pretty good for application, but I think we're going to need to top up. I don't know how much we've got left in that box, but we'll do what we can. So this will be the first harvest on the soybean when it's ready, of course. Then what I will do is I will oilseed radish again, and I'll do the same process again, because like I say, the contract for the organic soybean that we've got just asked for 2 harvests. Didn't specify an amount or size of field or anything like that. The potato ones, I've got a couple of potato ones. One's asking for 10 hectares. So what I might do is, I think, what field, just kind of looking at fields and field sizes and trying to work out. 12 and 13 might be more than that, in which case I might be able to fulfill both of the potato contracts if I did potatoes in that field. But like I say, I do need to earn some money. I can't buy more fields and expand. I can't have more contracts on the go and crops growing until I've got more land. I can't get more land until I've earned more money. I can't earn more money until I've done more contracts, whether it be in-game or subscriber. So it's like real and stuff. Brilliant. So I guess what I need to do when I get to a point where I get the work going on here, get myself over to 12 and 13, get that sorted, and get the oats in there. And then, like I say, yeah, then herbicide. I need to top up the harder sprayer. I don't know where we're going to stand with regard to weeds on this. Oh yeah, I was given a top tip which I didn't know about. The question was, did you know? And then my answer was, no, I didn't. I'm not going to give it away just yet, but it was from Mark. It was regarding the use of a harvester in a very peculiar way, which I hadn't heard of. I will give it a try. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. If it does, awesome, because it may save me a bit of money. Incredibly unorthodox though, but like I say, we'll see. Although I'm slightly puzzled. Let me just check something as well while we're here. Oh yeah, look, weeds. All the pink there is all weed, isn't it? So there are weeds in fields. They're not patchy though. That just seems to be like whole coverage. If I go down and turn that off. Yeah. So weeds are on. Just haven't got any on my fields. I mean, to be fair, there's no crop in them. I thought you still got weeds on the fields, even though they didn't. Like I say, I haven't really run weeds very often. I stayed away from it from very early on in the game. I don't know how it's going to be on FS22. I'm hoping it's going to be a little bit better. Oh, that was the other thing I was going to talk about. Again, another reason why I want to get into more streaming for that kind of more immediate feedback. When Giants released the other day the 2 screenshots of the new icons, the icon pages. So while I'm doing this, I'm going to try again. This doesn't always work particularly well, because I take my eye off the ball and things go horribly wrong. But I need to get to, on my PC to my right, I've got some pictures that I need to try and find, if I can find them. I screenshotted them and stored them because I knew they would come in handy, because I'm going to need to know them. I've got folders with so many different things in. There we go, icon overview. So icon overviews, if I remember, I'll put these up on the screen while I'm doing this, while we're talking about it. So it's all the new icons for the game. I say all of them, I think it's most of them. But we've got wheat, barley, canola, oats, sorghum, corn, because obviously sorghum's new. Sunflower, soybean, potatoes, sugar beet, sugar cane, cotton, grapes and olives, which are new. Grass, grass cut, hay, straw, silage, wood chips. We've then got sugar beet cut. Don't know what that's about. Sugar beet cut? Is there going to be some process that requires... Is that going to be for like rations maybe? Because I know cows will often have sugar beet and all sorts of stuff. I know a lot of livestock do in their diets. They've got chaff, straw square bale, straw round bale, cotton square bale, cotton round bale. Then we've got wood chip square bale and wood chip round bale. Poplar tree and fir tree, which is, again, marvellous. Then moving on, we've got cow, pig, sheep, chicken, horse, which we know about. Eggs, wool, milk, water, forage mix, CMR, forage, then pig food, then we've got concentrate. So that's pellets, maybe, do you think? Looks like it from the picture. Liquid fertiliser, solid fertiliser, herbicide, silage additive. That's something a bit different. Digestate, oilseed radish, lime, slurry, manure, seed, diesel, DEF, electric charge, snow, road salt and stones. Stones obviously new because we've got the rock picker, but yeah, there's some interesting ones in there. All a little bit different. Wasn't expecting some of that. I'm really interested by the silage additive, concentrate, the sugar beet cut as well, and obviously wood chip bales and wood chip round bales, because we got the Anderson pack that we got, and you could do poplars and you could do, I mean, for all intents and purposes, poplar bales, but they were down as wood chip bales. I'm assuming that's going to be standard in game then. Maybe the Anderson pack won't be a pack anymore. Maybe the Anderson stuff is going to be a standard fixture within the game. So, yeah, it's really interesting. It sounded very much like, what's his name? Oh, it's gone blank. Oh, it'll come to me. Ah, dear. Is it up Pompeii? Is that the thing I'm trying to think of? It was, wasn't it? Oh, Noel Coward. Is it Noel Coward? No. Oh, I don't know. Oh dear, I'll tell you, I'm losing it. Losing the plot. Now I've got to look that up because I'm not sure. It might well have been there. No. Frankie Howard, not Noel Coward. Frankie Howard. For all those people that were shouting at the screen, yeah, not Noel. No. Noel Coward was someone else. Entirely. Wasn't Noel Coward Mr. Bridger? Was that Noel Coward? Yeah. Oh, if you know, you know. If you don't, you're in some kind of zombified state like I am most of the time. Right! You've heard it before. I'll see you later. Soybeaning is now continuing on field. I keep saying on our field, and I can't. It is field 1, isn't it? Yeah, field 1. I'm just looking across the right here. I'm assuming the farmer in question was growing weeds. I think that's the crop he's growing. I hope that is, because that's terrifying. That is a whole field pretty much of weeds. So this time, rather than cultivating in a crop, we're just cultivating the field, and we should be putting down a fertilising state as well. On 12 and 13, we'll get that going. Watching out for traffic as we... I just love driving around. I know I've said that so many times in this map. I'm probably really annoying people, but... Oh yeah, I did lime this as well. As you can see. I think, did I do it last night? I can't remember when I did that. So, let's open it out. Turn it on, drop it down. Any bits I miss I will come and tidy up. I just need to get kind of the edging done first, really. Oh, that was what I was going to do. Oh, I've just remembered. I was going to plough between the two, because 12 and 13 have got a divide. I was going to plough and join them together. Which is fair at the moment, it doesn't matter that they're separate. I'm going to go across anyway. Then realistically what I would gain... Just depends how big the strip is between, actually. Let's have a look. I'm not going to gain that much of a crop. It just thought it'd be easier to have one field, but I can come back and do that later on, or another point. I tell you what I have noticed going around as well. Some of the contracts I've done is how the field edges are kind of overgrown. They're either the field edge is right up against where we've got trees or bushes. Now, whether that's the trees or bushes have grown up since the field was done, or the field is being cultivated or ploughed out right up next to the trees, I don't know for definite, but yeah, there's some that are very, very close. Again, no bad thing. I think some of them I could come in and remove. Saying that about coming and removing some of them, I have got some contracts for wood chipping and logging. I think I've got one of each, I think. The wood chipping won't be using a Devour. I know people, you know, they're probably sick of me using that. I used it on the Spectacle, I'm using it on Attingham, and I love it. I think it's a brilliant bit of kit. But because we've got the wood chipper here on the map, that's on the railway line, you bring the logs and you've got the wood chipper there. It wood chips, then you can put them onto a train. I'm definitely going to be able to go with that at some point. So there'll be some logging. I'll need a logging trailer and some logging equipment, that kind of stuff. Then we'll chuck a load of logs in there. We'll wood chip a load. Someone has asked for a cabin to be built with a few peripheral bits and bobs around the cabin. That cabin life. So again, we may get onto that. I'm going to do as much as I can. So, oh yeah, that's what I was saying. Where is it? Oh, I missed it. Oh, it's further alongside this one, I think. Field 14 is just up to our side, and as we go alongside this field, you'll see it. There's a CNS Anne Marie refill point just here on the right. That's not standard on the map, obviously. Like I said, that was built just prior to my arrival. That's part of the farm there, which I think was... it was the guys that sorted me out with the plough and the Massey, wasn't it? Badger... I'm going to forget it, aren't I? Badger Set Farm? So that's on their land. I'm assuming that's the deal they've done. Who knows? So what we should be seeing now as we go around is... hopefully that loop around should have given us... Now I'm puzzled. Why are we getting... That's definitely dark blue, isn't it? If I go across and bring it up next to it, yeah, that blue there, that's not light blue, that's dark blue. So why are we getting a double fertilising state? I'm cultivating in stubble, not a crop. I am slightly baffled. I wonder if I just turn that off and cultivate as normal, will that give me one state? Is that why it's doing it? Maybe? Is one without and one with? Or is it going to do it anyway? Let's do a strip without it turned on and see what happens. Is that lighter on the ground? Looks exactly the same to me. And exactly the same on the ground too. Oops, hang on. I don't know what to make of that. Oh well. So as I said, this will all be oats. I think the oat contract is for 40 to 45,000 litres. I don't know if we'll get it off both these fields. I would like to think we will. Yeah, I mean, they're fair sized fields, but we might not. Let's double check that again. Yeah, I'm not dreaming that. That's definitely the darker. Just trying to match up those colours with it. See, that's the light. That matches up. Beats me. So once the seeding on field 1 is done, I will get the seeder over here. Like I say, I may need to buy some more seed. It's more the herbicide I'm concerned about for the herbicide contract. Once this is cultivated, we'll get the seeder over here, and then I will turn my attention to the herbicide contract I've got. That's on field. That's a good point. Sorry, I know I'm bouncing out the menus here. So many different things to try and remember. Oh, I need to ride the horses today as well, don't I? Field 10. Where's field 10? You watch, it's going to be huge, isn't it? Field 10. Oh, it's not so bad. It's just there. It's going to be herbicide because I would imagine if it's anything like field 2, which field would go past? Field 4, that's going to be carnage. Field 1 is planted. Soybeans in, organic, good to go. Field 13 is in the process of, it's all cultivated now. Field 13 is now being planted with oats. Please tell me I put oats in. Yes. I have just purchased field 11. Now, field 14 shows as being owned. That's technically because that's where that silo is on the side of field 14. That's not technically mine. That's part of Badger Set Farm, which is here. I'm not going to use that. But field 11 I have just bought. Field 11 was 30,000. Now, I was thinking of extending. Field 21 seemed a little bit bigger, was a little bit more expensive, but field 11 has got a crop in it. It's got barley in it, so I thought I'm better off buying a field with a crop in because I can harvest it and then I've got the money from it and there'll be straw swaths. The other field didn't have a crop in it, that had just been cultivated, so it just made more sense to go for the one that had a crop in it. However, my money's now down at 74,000. We should now be able to fill up with... No. Oh, what? That's going to be a problem. It's because both those boxes are too close together. I don't think this is one that unloads, is it? It's a standard one. It's not a hardy... There's the interactive ones, aren't there, which you can... Let's see, I don't think I can. Oh. It's my own fault. Hang on a second. Right. Right, I've emptied it. It has been used. Let's just leave it at that, shall we? Right, let's try this again, shall we? There we go. Herbicidal maniac. Right, we're 90% full, 2,000 litres, that's all the herbicide we've got. I think we're going to get through it way quicker. We need to find a route through to field 10. Let's go this way. We want to be heading over that direction. I think it's that field by the wall. Is that field 10? I'm looking for a route across. If not, I'll have to just go along the roadway, turn around and come back kind of thing. But we might... Can we turn left there? I don't know, we can we? Oh, I know what we can do. Assuming I can get underneath, which I hope I can. Probably just would have been quicker going the main roadway, but let's try this, shall we? How high do we stand? Oh, we're alright. Excellent! There's our sheep pen. We do have a contract for sheep as well, although we have to buy them. Somebody wants us to supply sheep for a festival. They don't pay for them, we do. I'm not sure how that one works, but we'll I'll have a read of that one. Right, we need to find how do we get into this field. It's a slightly tricky thing on this map is because a lot of the fields have got fences round. Finding the entrances, yeah, that's got a fair few weeds in. I'm pretty sure that's field 10. Yep, to my right. That is pretty much a field of weeds. Hopefully the entrance is just here. Yep. Turn the beacon off. Let's open her up. I haven't done weeds in so long. Fingers crossed this works. Let's see just how much we use as well. That's the more worrying thing. Are we stuck? What the? Okay. There's nothing. How can I go right? I think we caught the fence, didn't we? That's better. Ignore the last bit. Right, let's raise it up a little bit. Get it above the height of the plants. And away we go. I am a herbicide. I don't know why that struck me as amusing when I said that earlier, but I like it. I've missed a few. There we go. It's not going down as quickly as I thought. If we have some left over, we might be able to pick up another herbicide contract. It's not a huge amount of money. I think this one pays out about 3 grand, but we've got the stuff there. We had the sprayer. It's doing a bit of weed work. I say I haven't always been a particular fan of them, but it is something different to do. I'm going to come straight from this side. That's alright. Swing it round. Trying to avoid all the trees as we go. There we go. Awesome. Nice. So, let's take the fence. I think we've got a couple of contracts done. We're on the way to our first part of our organic contract. We've got oats going in the ground for an oat contract. We're still continuing with regular in-game contracts. We are making a dent, that's the thing. Hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, please give us a like. If you don't subscribe yet, please do. If you want to leave a comment, feel free, and if you want to share this video, then please be my guest, whatever you should choose to do. Thanks for watching.